Okay, we are recording here. Hello, welcome to the Vancouver December virtual event. We've got some great speakers from Old Street Solutions, and we're going to be talking about communicating and reporting in Jira today. So, very exciting topic. Glad to see so many people joining us. A few other things, sort of, to sort out. So the Q&A session is open. Feel free to, as we go along with the presentation, pop your questions in there. We'll make sure that they all get answered over the course of the session. We'll keep an eye on things. We are going to be giving away some Atlassian swag, and we're saving that for the end of the session, so be sure to stick around if you want that. We've got like a $25 gift certificate for the Atlassian Swag Store, so we'll sort that out towards the end of the session. Before we get into our main speakers, I'm just going to start with a very brief slideshow or PowerPoint here regarding recent security advisories. One second here. All right. Okay, so you can see this okay. Recently, I think it was November 1st, Atlassian issued a advisory for basically its entire set of server and data center products. So Bitbucket, Confluence, Crucible, Fisheye, Jira Service Management, Jira Software, Server and Data Center, Jira Confluence and Server, mobile apps, the whole shebang there. And this is basically due to a issue where special characters known as Unicode bidirectional override characters are not rendered or displayed. These special characters are typically not displayed by the browser or code editors, but can affect the meaning of source code when it's processed by a compiler or interpreter. So this has been rated, this vulnerability has been rated high, and you should, if you're not previously aware of it or haven't addressed it, go check out Atlassian.com/security. There are updates available for basically everything server and data center wise. It is recommended that you update to the latest long-term support version as soon as you're able to, and get those fixes into your systems. If you didn't receive a notification about the advisory, make sure you go to myatlassian.com/email and update your communication preferences, because these sort of things, you definitely want to make sure the integrity of your instance is taken care of. And of course, if you're already on cloud, well, you don't need to worry about that because Atlassian's already taken care of it. But do check that out and just mark which ones you need to be updated on, because it's very helpful in maintaining your instance. So, all right. And that is everything that I wanted to cover. So we can head straight on to our guest speakers here, starting with Morgan.
Cool, great, thanks for walking through that. I appreciate it. It's nice to kind of see those. I feel like I get so many emails from Atlassian that are about things like that they can kind of get filtered out. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So for everyone, if we haven't met before, my name's Morgan. I'm a product manager for Custom Charts, which I'm going to be talking about today. Custom Charts is our app, but I'm also going to talk about some like general Jira reporting things. If you've seen me before, you know I love talking about how bad the out-of-the-box like Jira dashboard gadgets are. So we're going to explore some of that today. So let me share my screen really quick, and we can jump right in. So I get so used to doing things in Zoom. Immediately went to the Zoom button. Okay, so let's see. You guys should be seeing another version of my face.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, that's me. So as far as we're going to talk about dashboard and reporting best practices. So generally when we're talking Jira dashboards, I think we've probably all seen some like bad dashboards. Like we see on the screen, they're like all text, or your data is not very good, or you are just like straight up not sure what it's supposed to be telling you, which is always fun to try to fight through. But as we see like bigger and more complex Jira instances, especially if you're like on a data center instance and have been for a while, the bigger Jira instance you have, the harder it is to like display useful reports in general, or find any clean data. And I think part of that's because dashboards in Jira are super easy to create, right? Like literally anybody can create a Jira dashboard. And add some gadgets to it quickly to have some reporting. So it's like really probably, I would say, the most powerful part of Jira. So it doesn't really matter all of the data that you have in there if you can't like see it or tell anything about it outside of, you know, like an issue by issue look. So with that, let's talk about things you should do when you're creating dashboards. So this first thing, it may seem like it doesn't need to be said, but I'm going to say it anyway, which is that the first thing your dashboards should be is informative. So when I am building dashboards, which as you might have guessed, I do a lot, the first thing I do is figure out like what does this dashboard even need to be? Who does it need to be for, right? So the goal of a dashboard in any reporting in general, in my mind, is to, right, like to communicate a message. And that message should ideally be about something that the viewer cares about. So when I build a dashboard, I start with who's the audience for this? Sometimes it's just me. Sometimes it's my team. Sometimes it's like executives. And knowing who's going to be looking at it makes sort of the second question on the screen just like a ton easier. So once I know who's going to be looking at it, I can start to think about what do I want them to know? What do they care about? And really taking it, obviously, when we're looking at Jira dashboards, you're going to start with like the basics, like status and like assignees and stuff, but trying to take it sort of up a level, I think is really helpful to, rather than like how many issues are in each status, thinking about it of more like, is my project on track? Or is the workload evenly distributed among my team members? Or like, what do I have to do today? Right. So those are bigger questions that the information's there, it's in Jira. But starting from those sort of like the story you want to tell with the dashboard, makes it a lot easier to do like the actual build out. So if we look at just like a quick example, and I promise this won't be all slides. I'm gonna get in the tool so you guys can see an actual demo soon after this one, really. But if we look at this this dashboard, for example, right? So it's called program status. We've got a few gadgets. It looks nice. There's some good colors. We've got a few custom charts as well as some out of the box, the average age chart. First one, we're looking only my issues by issue type. So that's useful if I'm like an individual contributor, I care about the things that I'm assigned to. Next, we have project status. So it looks like that's sort of status across projects. That's also interesting information. Then we have like, you know, general workflow, average age. These are all useful reports, but I don't really know who would care about all of these at the same time, right? Is this the status of a program? Individual projects? If I'm a project or program manager, do I care what I'm assigned to? Do I care what the team is assigned to? Project status. You see, it's like trying to not only have like your nice gadgets and things that look good, but putting together that story so that they actually do something together. So that's the first piece, make your dashboards informative, sort of the foundation before you do anything. The next is making your dashboards easy to understand. So now I'm going to jump into Jira. And let me, sure, got everything up. There we go. So now I'm going to jump into Jira. So when we're talking about making your dashboards easy to understand, this is my favorite part of this presentation. If you guys haven't seen this before, just brings me a lot of joy. So we've got first this project status pie chart. So this is pretty straightforward. I'll configure it. This is the out-of-the-box Jira pie chart gadget. We're using a saved filter called project status. Cool. And we're using the RAG, which is a custom field that I've built. And that's what I can do. I can choose to auto refresh it every 15 minutes instead of just when you load the page. And that's about all I can do. So if I save that again, there is, I would say, one glaring reason why this chart makes me like itchy, which would be that, let's see, green is blue, red is amber, amber is red. Cool. I've got all these colors. The colors in the chart don't actually mean anything. So if I'm, let's say, an exec or even just like a project manager given this report, I'm immediately gonna, it seems like things are, I mean, blue isn't green, but it's kind of positive. But then it seems like there's a lot of things that are not doing great and half as many that are sort of in the middle, which is not really a, an accurate reading of what we're seeing here. So this is kind of a mess. So let's take a look at custom charts and see sort of how we can do that a little less painfully. So I've got just a bunch of custom charts gadgets added on the right side of this page. We've got our little walkthrough here. Splash screen comes up. I won't walk through all of those, but it's a little guide on how to use the charts. But let's start just like right here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So we'll leave this as a pie chart, which is what it just defaults to. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the same configuration that I did in the on this one. So I will select a filter. I could also select a project or use JQL or connect a simple search gadget that I won't be talking about much today, but is another gadget that comes with custom charts. But I'll come here and search for our project status filter. Cool. So it's just like this one. And then I will chart by. This is the same field selection that we did before. And I'll select RAG. So what we've got is custom charts also just made a guess at the colors. It was a little bit more accurate, just like luck turned out. It guessed green right. But the idea is that you don't want the tool to have to guess what color you want. You want to be able to determine what that is. So we can pretty immediately do that by just clicking on these color droppers and changing that one to amber, that one to red. And now that's actually useful. So it was the same, like, set two options and then you get to choose the colors. So this is a lot more informative if I'm someone who's looking at this dashboard and trying to figure out what this means. If I want to take it a step further, I could, well, it's just for the sake of RAG, we can drag and drop to reorder this. So that's in that nice order for vanity's sake. But I could also come in here and, red, amber, green is cool. Maybe I know what that means. Maybe I don't. So as whoever's building this dashboard as an admin or a team member, I can provide some help. So I can add a description to the chart and say, let's get real description with it. Red is bad and green is good. So you can actually add the descriptions directly to the dashboard, which is great. This is just like your Jira comment editor. So I can bold it. We can make this red, make this green. We can get all sort of fancy with it. And then I can save it. And now I've got a pie chart that is pretty clear what's going on. I mean, this isn't the most helpful thing I've ever read, but you get the idea, right? That you can provide some context as to what red, amber, and green actually mean, as well as making it so, red is actually red, and it's clear what's going on. So next, in a similar vein, we'll kind of go down a little bit, look at our duplicate statuses pie chart. So this, always fun. So this pie chart, if we take a look at it here, is just, I call it the filter duplicate statuses. It's just a bunch of issues in the to do, in progress, and done statuses. And I'm charting by status. So if you have ever worked in a cloud instance, if you're on cloud in Jira, you've probably seen something like this. On top of just like, user error, sometimes people create duplicate statuses. If you are using team managed or those next gen projects, they create some duplicate statuses. And this is what the out of the box pie chart gadget looks like. Just trash. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I hate it. So you can guess why I don't think I have to spend a ton of time talking about that, but there are things like, look, in progress is red. Also done is red, but done is also yellow. But then this other in progress is yellow. So not the clearest what's going on here. If somebody handed me this report and was like, here you go, this is our data. Do some math to figure out what it's supposed to do. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to close the page immediately. Don't give me a report with also homework to do the math and figure out what's going on. Especially if you're trying to hand this to like an executive, they're not going to look at it and it's going to make you look bad and nobody wants that. So we've got a similar thing with custom charts. We can clean it up. So I'll do the same thing. We'll grab save filter, call it duplicate statuses. Pulls me right into this chart by. I'll chart by status. And what's great is I don't even have to think about it. It automatically combines all of your duplicate information. So doesn't matter if your data is not that clean, which, it happens. Even if you are on data center, you're going to end up with things like duplicate custom fields or duplicate statuses and things like that. So we do have like some, it's a pretty easy thing to do here. You can just pull that right in. I see a question, the JQL for duplicate statuses. You're going to see it's a little bit silly. Status to do in progress done, and I excluded a specific test one. So that's all I did to pull in all of those. So it's not actually a duplicate status, it's just filtering out the other statuses to make it look a little cleaner. But we've got this. What we see too is often, if I wasn't just looking at like to do in progress and done, a lot of people have like a closed status versus a one team uses closed, one team uses done, another uses resolved. But you don't really care in your reporting the difference a lot of the time. So you can do things like combine. So if let's round this, we'll pretend like this is a valid use case, and I'll hit this add option here and I'll show all the other statuses, and I'm going to come use in progress and I can combine them into one section. We can even call this like a not done. So we can see done versus not done, but you can do that kind of like super basic. It's just a few clicks manipulation when your data is not that clean, which makes it a lot easier to hand a report to somebody in like a clean state. So we've got that. I've also been showing off the pie charts just because I think it's the default, but it's also what folks are used to. But all of these, let's get rid of this combined here to do in progress done. We'll get that back. All of these you can just click through and you've got all of these in just like a single gadget. It can be a bar chart, it can be a line chart. That doesn't really tell me anything interesting, but you can do it. Funnel, table, all of that good stuff. We can even, this is a new feature, you can even come in here and add extra columns. So we're counting by issue now. If I wanted to add, I don't know if we've got any story points in here, but if I wanted to see how many issues right next to how many story points there are per status, there we go. So we can see like just a lot of information with just a few clicks, which is really nice. It also means that I can build fewer dashboards and pull fewer things out into Excel. So we've got that, making them informative. So like should be super clear what it's trying to say. There shouldn't be a bunch of extra noise. We can see, I won't do the exact same thing, but same is true of versions. So if you are using multiple Jira projects and trying to track the same version, Jira doesn't care, right? Like it's all project specific. With custom charts, you can combine them really easily. So you can see if these 1.0s were just, the same release and you wanted to have some cross-project reporting, it's just right there for you. You don't have to do all of the whatever this is. So as far as making them easy to understand, that's sort of the general idea. So don't hand your boss something that looks like this or this and expect them to be jazzed about the results. So that's sort of the main piece there. Next, as far as like dashboard tips, your reports in general should be easy to maintain. So I won't jump back into the slides. We can take a look at this. There's a few different things sort of around this. So that means, one, if your reports or dashboards are going to take a lot of time and effort to maintain, just like a fact of life is that they're going to fall out of date, right? Like we all have day jobs. We have better things to do than, constantly maintaining reports, making sure that, things look exactly right. That's just like a lot of work and it's just not going to happen. And so we can see a few examples of that, but sort of on a tangent. And this is something I could talk about for hours, but I won't make you listen to me for that long, about labels. So I think labels are a great example, where anybody in your instance is just like an open text field. You can tag issues. Which makes it really powerful because if it's like informality, you don't need an admin to create a custom field for you. You don't need somebody to do anything. You can just like throw a label on an issue and start pulling the information together, which is great. Like that independence is something that you don't have a lot of opportunities for in Jira, but we can see here why that's not always great. So it is just an open text field. One thing I can say is that at least a few years ago, labels also used to be case sensitive. So I could have like a label one with a capitalized L and a label one with a lowercase l, and they would be two separate ones. Luckily, we're past that, but we can still see anytime you just have somebody entering something in like via text, you're going to get things like this. So we've got just like one person used Q2 dash deliverable, one person used an underscore. We've got salsa, which is potentially sales. I don't know. We got typos. We just have all sorts of things like that, shorthand versus the long name. So the sort of conclusion to that is labels are really good if you're doing like an informal, like, oh, we had an incident. Let's like throw these labels on them so we can, just see that list. But my general rule is anytime I am giving a report to somebody else, or like if I would be putting this in front of my boss, I'm not going to make it based on labels because of all of this. So when we're talking maintenance, that also means going in and making sure the data is clean, which is just a nightmare. I don't wish that on anybody, needing to go in and keep your Jira data clean as to make sure that like your reports look good. I think ideally it should be self-enforcing. But so when we're talking maintenance, it means data that doesn't need to be manually updated. It also means using tools that you can hand off. So if I left tomorrow, somebody would be able to pick up all of my dashboards. They can come in if they needed to change this and said, wow, Morgan is an idiot. Why would this isn't useful at all. They could easily, in 2 clicks come in and edit that. Which is something that is not true of all of the sort of reporting options on the marketplace. There's some really powerful tools like EasyBI and Tableau that can do basically any report in the universe, but you're going to need to spend like 2 to 4 months learning how to use them first before you can like build a chart that looks like this. So there's like definitely a place for them, but when we're talking maintainability and handoff, that's sort of a weakness there. So in the charts themselves, there's like general things you can do to make them easier to maintain. Let's use an example here. I won't make you guys watch me rebuild a chart from scratch again. So I'm going to use a template. This is a fun feature in custom charts that was added pretty recently. They're just, you can save templates for you to reuse later or for other users in your instance to reuse. But let's go this year. Created versus resolved this year. I haven't looked at this chart in a while, so we'll see how clean I saved this template. Cool. So you see, this is an example of a chart that's using JQL instead of instead of a filter. So we have an example of that. But basically, I've pre-configured this chart to show created versus resolved. So this right here is an example of something you can do to make your charts easy to maintain. So pretty easy. Don't hard code dates if you can avoid it. We've got similarly here, this range is set to this year as well. So I technically don't need to do both of these things, but we've got some duplicate effort here. But this will all update automatically. So I don't have to go into hard-coded dates or hard-coded sprints or all sorts of those things. So if you can leave it so it, if you can build it so that it can just, maintain itself, that's the ideal. Okay, and then the last sort of quick note as far as tips for dashboards is just making them easy to find. I'll pull up my slide real quick. Just I think it's yeah. Oops. Make them easy to find. So a dashboard really, or report in general, just like isn't useful to somebody who can't find it. So give it a clear and descriptive name. Make sure you share them when other people would want to see them. So if it's like a dashboard for your team or project or organization, go ahead and share it. However, on the other side, it's also, I would say, almost as important to just like not share them when it's not appropriate. So sometimes I create dashboards that are like test dashboards or are like Morgan's tracking her work dashboard. Nobody else needs to see that. Nobody else cares about it. And sharing it like clutters up the list, right? Makes it a lot harder to find the relevant dashboards when you are like sifting through all the noise of everybody's personal dashboards that really nobody else needs to see. So it's a note there. And then just a second. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. PowerPoint being fun. And then the last thing is just like link to them wherever your team does your work. So this is my chance to plug custom charts for Confluence a little bit. So I've been talking about Jira primarily. We also have custom charts for Confluence, which is just about identical, but you can insert all of those reports directly on Confluence pages. So what that means in this context is if everybody does all of their work in Confluence, put the reporting in Confluence. If your team hates signing into Jira and will avoid it at all costs, put it into Confluence. You can pull your Jira data directly in. There's even some cool features that are Confluence specific that allow you to share reports with unlicensed users. So there's a lot you can do to just make it so it's as easy as possible to find and understand your reports. So sort of a sum. Let's review that real quick. When we're building reporting of any kind, but especially Jira dashboards, want to make sure it's informative, easy to understand. So just try to be intentional about what you're including, who you're sharing it with, how that data is structured. Really, if you can't quickly figure out what a report is telling you, try to simplify it if you can. And then don't set yourself up for a lot of work. Make your dashboards easy to maintain. And then, of course, it doesn't matter how beautiful your dashboard is if nobody actually knows it exists or how to find it. Cool. So that is the gist. I haven't checked the chat in a while to see if there are any questions. Let's see. Are those custom charts an add-on? Yes, great question. Yes, so the add-on is called Custom Charts for Jira. And custom charts for Confluence, we've got two separate ones. The ones on the right side, at least. I don't want to take credit for these monstrosities on the left. Yeah, so that's an add-on. It is available on cloud, server, and data center, and is identical across the board. Cool. I don't see any more questions in the chat.
I have one. I'll just fire off there. I know a lot of my dashboards that I create for my internal customers, the main question that they ask is sort of when is a thing going to be done?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was wondering, is there any kind of like burn down charting that is beyond just sort of the regular sprint burn down?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is kind of. You can do a little bit of that today, but it's like you're an audience plant. We do have a public roadmap. So this is just in our documentation, and you can see all of the features that those are recently released ones, but everything that we're actively working on, as well as what's coming up. So this very first thing on our backlog is actually going to do exactly. It's going to give us the ability to have burn downs in custom charts in a cleaner way. Right now, you can use some of like the was in JQL to pull in like historical data, but this will just make it a lot easier. So yeah, so this is available. You can see the things that we're working on right now. Some of them that I'm really excited about. This one in particular, we're going to have another new gadget added to custom charts in the next few months. That'll give us an issue list that you can connect to Simple Search. And we can put some links in the chat. I see Chris already put a link to our playground, so you can go play around with the app. We'll put it right there. Looks like this. You can see some gadgets. Like you can see it's on server, so it looks just a little bit different, but not very. And you can come in here and actually play around. And so like before you've even installed it in your instance, you can go mess around with the editor and try all that out yourselves. So that's pretty cool.
All right. Is there one more question in Q&A? Let's see. Is the add-on 508 compliant? How does it handle red-green color blindness?
Okay. I don't know what 508 compliant means. However, we do. This is actually a really fun thing about custom charts is that your charts come with like a preset set of colors, but we actually do have, let's pull this up. I got to show it off. That's a great question. So if I go into the settings here, we've got default colors and colorblind accessible colors. So this is the scheme that comes like with your instance. That's there. You can also change them one by one if they don't work for you, but we have some colorblind devs on our team. So it's something that we incorporated just as part of that. And I've been very surprised at how much this question gets asked.
All right.
Well,
okay. Well, we've got one more speaker, so if there's any other questions that dawn for Morgan in the next few minutes, we can come back to that. So, Gabriel, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, in terms of introductions, hello everyone again. My name is Gabriel Wielkopolski. I am part of the All Street Solution team that is currently working on a new product, which I will have the joy of showing you guys here today. So it was created with the same kind of mission in mind that we always had, which is to make your work and collaboration of teams in Jira easier and more accessible. So with that in mind, as every new release, it deserves a proper teaser. So we have a trailer for the product that I would love to show you now. It's a 2-minute video. I will share my screen and show it to you right now. And after that, I will go to a short presentation of the actual product. I will show it how it actually works in Jira, how we do some basic actions. And then, of course, I'm open to Q&A. And I have one more announcement to make after that regarding the new product. But we'll get to that in a second. So let me now share the tab with the video. Share. Boom.
Launch just now. A new app joining the family of Old Street Solutions renowned products like custom charts and external share. We are presenting to you Planning Boards for Jira, a free-form board that's synced with your Jira. Planning Boards for Jira gives you complete freedom to collaborate on an infinite canvas. It's the perfect tool for brainstorming, backlog grooming, sprint planning, retrospectives, and all your favorite team activities. We believe in your dreams coming true. Your imagination is the only limit. Draw diagrams, use virtual sticky notes, and add text. It's an infinite canvas where anything can be a Jira thing. And all changes made will automatically update in your Jira via two-way synchronization. Never before has organizing and planning in Jira been this easy. Innovative smart drop zones will allow you to use drag and drop to update Jira fields. It's the most intuitive way to take Jira actions. Planning boards for Jira changes everything. Wherever you've made your notes, in a pad, on a sticky note, on the whiteboard, take a photo and click import. State-of-the-art handwriting detection will turn a photo of your handwritten data into an editable replica, and then Jira items. No more tedious post-meeting data entry. Virtual sticky note shapes and text allow you to express anything. Work with existing Jira issues or easily create new ones. Smart zones. Create a zone on your canvas that can update almost any Jira fields. Handwriting detection. Import handwritten sticky notes in bulk in seconds. Your meetings are about to get a lot more interesting. Ready to join in the fun?
So now that this is out of the way, we had a bit of an introduction. I hope that you could have that sound. I see a comment. Love that voice. So the sound was there. Everything worked. That's cool. So now let me go back to the actual go back to Jira and actually show you the product itself with some explanation first. So as the video explained, it's a product that allows you for a new way of visualizing your Jira data. It allows you to have a original view on how to do planning and especially agile planning in Jira. So as you can see, it is nested now under any project that I have, and in each project I'll have this button here, and this will allow me to create as many planning boards as I want for any product, an unlimited number of planning boards. So now let's open one of those that I already made. And as you can see, again, this is a free-form board when I can kind of create anything and then work with it. So now let's get to basics. Let's actually create something. So creating an element is just as easy as going to this interface here on the left, which is kind of giving me all the possible elements to create. So I just drag and drop like this, and I have a sticky note. So now I write something. And this is now just a sticky note. I can edit it. I can make it bigger, the text bigger, right? I can change the font, change the color of this card, just basic actions like this. This is, of course, just for visualization. But now with one button, I just click here, and this automatically, of course, it gives me a couple of options so I can already put in an assignee, set a priority, add a description. But this one button will essentially, just like this, create a Jira issue out of this card. So now when I click it, it brings back the window of the Jira issue. And with this, now I can, for example, create a diagram. I can connect those two cards, for example. So I can create kind of like a workflow. If we go down here, for example, I kind of pre-prepared it. So if we will have a couple of steps, let me just add a new one there. We set the arrow to go this way. We have a step 4 here. And with just as I will select everything and just like this, I can create a Jira issue for all of those steps, and it will be kind of color coded. As you will see that I will, for example, you can literally track your issues this way. If I will change the status of this one to done, you will see how the color here changes, so we can kind of track our objectives, create different diagrams. So the coolest thing about it is now, as you saw previously, we also have this detection of handwritten text. So with just the button to add anything, I can add literally anything. I have a picture of some post-it notes here. We really tested this handwriting detection technology on doctors' writing, so don't worry. I'm sure that you will be able to pull in whatever you wrote on a hand. As long as the lighting is good, it will work. So just like that, it gave me those new cards that I can organize. We have a button that kind of does magic and makes it a lot easier. So the thing is, as I can pull basically anything that was, so those cards were literally just handwritten on a paper a second ago, and now I have it in my Jira. I can, again, just select all of them, and one button creates a Jira task for each of those cards. And here, and at the same time, I can click the Jira button and query the issues from Jira that I would like to pull. And easy enough, I just pulled in my Jira, a couple of my Jira tickets from the backlog and stuff that I had on my whiteboard just a second ago. And from here, I can just move all of those cards, for example, here. And here I drafted a small diagram. And now I can collaborate with my team live on a call, for example, and establish, for example, what is the value here. And then the biggest part of this, because this probably already brings up some, you probably already started thinking about similar products like Draw.io, for example, or Miro. The thing about this product is the biggest value here is the moment when we actually finished planning however we want. This is the power of this agile planning, that I can create a diagram out of nothing, just basically drawing on a board with sticky notes. The biggest thing is how easily we then, first of all, create Jira issues out of those elements, and then using smart drop zones, I can easily perform Jira actions on those issues with just a couple of clicks. So I have a simple smart drop zone here that is just basically setting the priority of tasks that I will put in. So I can just select 3 of those sticky notes that I just added a second ago, pull them here, and automatically they got the highest priority. So I have another planning board here where I actually saved a couple of those action tables before, so I can show you a bit more regarding their the possibilities that we have with that. So as you can see, we can, for example, we can create columns that will be columns and rows, and then each of them can perform a Jira action. So for example, here we have a simple smart drop zone that assigns a number of story points, so we can easily have stuff transformed from your whiteboard into Jira, and then just assign story points while moving this around with drag and drop. So now just imagine how much time would this data entry take if you would actually be doing it the old way, but you would like to add some stuff that you have saved in your notepad and stuff from your backlog, from your Jira backlog. So this makes everything a lot easier, a lot faster, and a lot more fun. So it's great for basically any Jira, any agile ceremony. So if we have a two rows smart drop zone here, we can at the same time assign it to a different to a person and set the priority of it. So we can basically perform any Jira action at this point already, and we will be adding a lot more. So for example, the possibility to collaborate on a single canvas is coming in really soon. So we will also be releasing a lot of guides that will kind of be promoting using this product, and how can you easily perform different agile ceremonies in this product here. We're very excited about it. So as a news that I wanted to share with you by the end of this presentation here now is the fact that we will be giving out this license for the license for this product, for an annual license for this product for free to anyone that joined us here today. And we are looking forward to hearing your feedback. And we are also proposing that we'll gladly meet with you to help you configure it and set it up for your specific use case. So I will be reaching out to everyone that joined us here today if you'll be interested in a free license to test out this new product here. So if there are any questions, I'll gladly answer them now.
That's such a cool app. I'm really excited about it.
No, that does look very very intriguing there. I don't see any from the attendees there. Oh, there's something else in general there. Nope, just endorsement there, so that's good. Yeah, so we'll figure out what's the best way to get the licenses to people. I don't know if it will be easiest to send a follow-up email to attendees.
That's what I was planning to do.
Okay.
So as I
So
said, free license to everyone that would like it. And as I said, we will gladly meet with you and help you kind of set it up for your use cases and see how it works for you.
okay. So we'll get that sorted out in the next couple days or so. And yeah, sorry.
There is a question from Robert. Can we
Oh.
just get a trial license from the marketplace? Of course you can. You can.
Yeah.
And feel free to. However, we are offering a free annual license. Here.
Is there any
So-
particular limit on terms of number of users or anything?
No.
Oh. All right. Okay. Well, that was that's above and beyond what we were expecting to give away here. So if there's no other questions for Gabriel there, we will just cap off. We've got 10 minutes. Oh, I see one more question in the Q&A. Hang on. Any plans to release this for data center? It's just for cloud, correct? Or
Yes, currently it is a cloud-based product. We are not completely saying no to release on other platforms, but however, it's not in our plans currently. I wouldn't expect it for any nearest amount of time. It's currently a cloud-only product.
okay. All right. So from the looks of things, we currently have 32 attendees on the call there. So if you want to stick around for a second, we'll just do a random draw for a $25 gift card at the Atlassian swag store. So I've got so ignoring the host there. I'm going to generate a random number. I don't know if you can see that all that well.
So we are not part of the raffle, right? We cannot win. Okay. Sad.
No, sorry.
Okay, maybe next time.
Next time. Anyways.
Prize
Okay.
is getting to present to all of you lovely folks,
Yes.
right?
Which I consider the biggest achievement of my life so far. So don't worry about that. But, you know, a gift card would be a nice cherry on the top.
Yeah. So we'll generate a random number from 0 to 28 and then just count down and see there. So random number is 16. Sorry, you probably cannot see that very well. I assure you we're being unbiased here. So that's 16. So I have Caldine Brown. If you want to direct message me an email address, we will get you a gift card sent out in the next day or so. So just send me the email or send me direct message, and you know what? Given this is the end of the year, why don't we make that 2? Celebrate however you celebrate the end of the year. Let's just be overly generous. So now we've got 25, and so we know Caldine's 16. So I have Teodora V. So if you just want to direct message me your card, your a piece of contact information there, we can we'll get you guys each a $25 gift card at the Atlassian store there.
Since it's Christmas time, and some people are probably sad for the fact that they didn't win, like I am, for example, but of course, that's one thing. We will give away free t-shirts to everyone that attended as well. And getting your address and shipping it to you will be a part of this follow-up email that we'll send to you. So congratulations. If you're here, you just won one of our t-shirts completely for free, including shipping.
Oh, nice.
You guys are so great. No problem. Absolutely no problem. It's just the Christmas spirit talking through me, you know?
Yes. All right. Well, thank you. That is everything that we have to share today. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are. If you're in the Vancouver area, I think we're fingers crossed going to be able to get back to in-person meetups from time to time in the new year. We'll sort of see how COVID and Dr. Bonnie Henry want to, determine how best to proceed with that. Yeah. thank you so much for joining us. Have a great holiday season, however you celebrate it, and a great new year. And we will see you next year. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for your time today.
Cheers.
Bye y'all.